Brittany and Joey's awesome vlog. Brittany and Joey's really awesome vlog. We went on some trips, got some shit to say. So it's been a while since we updated, but that's just because we haven't been around each other.
Yeah, this
since my birthday or the hungover vlog that you guys.
It's a famous one now.
Yeah, I keep hearing good things about it from our friend. I mean, I know it doesn't seem like a lot of people watch it because it's kind of got a low view count, but all of our videos have low view counts.
But they're high for us.
They're high for us. So, as you heard, we went on some trips. That's what this vlog will be talking about, and we'll do an update soon about kind of where we stand in life and so whatnot. But this one's just about our trips. I, at the end of September, went to the Folsom Street Fair in San Francisco, and
I, at the beginning of September, went to the Bumbershoot Music and Comedy Arts Festival in Seattle.
See, I would have loved to have gone to that, but because I scheduled my trip in like February, so I didn't have the money. I barely had the money to like go to San Francisco in the first place. I had to borrow money from my little sister, which is, it's sad.
I've done Bumbershoot every year since my junior year of high school.
Yeah, the trip is still literally like putting me in the poorhouse. Like, I'm still paying for it this month. Like, I had to stop. I didn't have enough to eat, barely, last month in order to pay for it. Yeah. Because I ended up going alone. Like, I had two friends who were going to go with me, and they both bailed. And I was stuck paying for the $400 hotel by myself. And like the plane ticket and everything. It was crazy, but I had such a good time. But we are going to talk about Brittany's trip first. So, Brittany.
Well, mine came out of my stimulus check, so thank you, government.
And failing economy.
Yes, but it didn't fail me yet. Bumbershoot's something I do every year. We mainly go for the comedy, and then every night they have the major shows in the stadium. And this year they had a really good lineup. Mainly I was excited to see the Stone Temple Pilots, because that was the first concert I ever went to when I was 13. Woo! Yeah. Jamie is also a fan. Jamie is now our executive producer. We're calling her Gelman.
Thank you, Jamie Gelman.
So shout out to her.
Oh, Lady Gelman.
But anyway, yeah, and then also Beck. So I went with Jamie.
Who hearts Beck?
Me. I do too.
Oh, and this year he had this crazy look of like really long hair and a big black trench coat and a big like 30s gumshoe hat, and rocking out with like his rap rock mix that he does,
which is wonderful.
And like that was the first show we saw, and then the next night is when we saw Stone Temple Pilots, and we fought our way like really as close as we could get to the stage without being like assaulted by the boyfriends of all these girls in the audience, because there was like girls that were really into the music, and then the guys protecting them, and then the like single scary stoner guys were the ones that I had to protect Jamie from, so I became like one of the protectors. It was, yeah, but we met some cool people in the audience. But yeah, that Stone Temple Pilot show, the band was 45 minutes late, and everybody knows Scott Weiland likes the needle. And so we were a little afraid he wasn't going to show up, but it was really good. And we also got to see a lot of great comedians. We got to see Janine Garofalo for the second year in a row.
Love her. I'm so sad I missed her.
Human Giant from MTV, which made me very happy. Tig, I love. Just a little lesbian of power. David Cross, which
showed up.
So since we began going, like the first year, we've always wanted to see Zach Galifianakis. He's been there 3 years. We've missed him every year. This year he canceled. The first year we got there too late because we only got to go for one day. We went for the full 3 days this year, so we got to see all but one comedy show, and that was Jessie Klein. But
oh my god,
we got to see every single
Jessie Klein.
One. Yeah, which it was sad, but we got to see her. I think the first year we went. So yeah, so. We're going a long time. It's a really fun trip, and yeah.
It's like I wish I could have gone to Bumbershoot because it seems like
Joey went with us last year.
I went with him last year for my 21st birthday. I mean, not my 21st, for my 20th birthday. I got my neck pierced. And it was really awesome.
I remember you wanted to get hair pierced first, and they're like, no, that's where you're like main artery.
I also remember you saying it wouldn't last a year, and
facial piercings usually don't last longer than.
And here it is, over a year, like almost 2 months over a year, and guess who still has their neck piercing? Raise your hand if you do.
Of metal shoved in his neck.
Whatever, I like it.
Anyway, why don't you talk about your trip?
Okay, so I went to San Francisco for the Folsom Street Fair, obviously, and it was a super, super blast. Let's see. I got there, like the first night I got there, obviously I'd never been to San Francisco before, so I was like staying by myself because like I said, my friends bailed, and I decided I was going to take in some local color and walk around the city, kind of try to find a place to eat. And I was feeling like Chinese, like I wanted Chinese, so I went out and I was wandering around, and I got to like this nice looking part of town, like it was cool and stuff, but I didn't really see anywhere I wanted to eat yet. And then I kept wandering, and I got into a bad part of town, and I kept wandering, thinking, eventually I'm going to end up in the good part of town, right? No.
Oh.
Yeah, it was all bad. Like, all the streets were in disrepair. There were, like, crazy homeless people everywhere. It was pretty awful. Remember I was walking, and this one guy, who, he, like, literally stops his conversation with another homeless guy, looks at me, and he says, "Why you dressed like a girl, yo?" I was like, just keep walking. Like, I literally, like, grabbed my phone and I was like, "Hello?" And I started walking, like, oh my god, it was terrifying. So I shut myself in for the night. I decided not to go back out. And then the next day was the fair, which immediately, it was just amazing. Like, I went in, everyone was just, like, dressed in, like, leather, and it was crazy, and oh my god, I was loving it. And I met Sister Roma, who, I don't know if anyone knows who Sister Roma is, but she's one of the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence, and she's awesome. I took a picture with her, and she was really sweet, and we talked for a little bit about how it was my first time there, and how I was totally coming back every year. And I kept walking back and forth for a little while, because in the beginning it wasn't that crowded, and I saw some pretty interesting things. There was like a public flogging section, like people were being like tied up and flogged in the middle of the street, and it was awesome.
We didn't have any of that.
I just remember I was walking by it one time when it was super crowded, and there was this old guy sitting on the mailboxes across from the flogging station, pleasuring himself, and I was just like, I love that someone can just do that and like not get arrested.
Somebody set the Republican booth on fire. That's the only flogging we had.
That's awesome. Let's see. And then I went up to this really muscly guy who I didn't even know, and I asked him to take a picture of, if he would take a picture of him holding me up, and he was like, holding you up like how? And I was like a bride. And so that totally happened, and it was awesome. And then let's see, I saw the Joans in concert, who were amazing. Oh my god, their showmanship was so good. Like, not only is their music,
what they are, like how they're
the Joans,
the concept.
The entire story behind them is they're giving Joan Crawford the rock and roll persona that she deserved.
Most righteously deserved.
So it's so amazing. It's like two drag queens and this like fierce lady and like these three guys who do. It's awesome. Like, oh my god, they're amazing. So they were really, really good. And then I decided to walk to the other side of the fair, to see Shiny Toy Guns.
Awesome.
And it was too crowded, and I missed them. And then I was like, I gotta get back, because Julie Brown, who I don't know who any of you, she did the song "Because I'm a Blonde" that was in the movie Earth Girls Are Easy.
Yep.
But I missed her because it was too crowded. I did end up meeting Francois Sagat, who is a full-on porn star, and I also met Diesel Washington and Dean. Fuck, I forget his last name. But I didn't get pictures with them, which was really sad. It was too crowded, and there wasn't enough. Like, I didn't have a friend to take pictures for me. So
I didn't have me, because that's my job on trips.
But so I went back, and I ended up being able to see the Presets and Berlin, who were both really good. And that's kind of my trip. Like, it was just this big, crazy sexual odyssey, and I cannot wait to go back. I ended up going out that night also to a leather bar and had beers, which made no sense. Like, everyone kept coming up to me, and they were like, "You're so adorable." And someone told me I had the look, but no one ever really said I was hot, which is weird. But there was this one drunk guy named Chuck who kept telling me I didn't know who the Smashing Pumpkins were. What? And I was like, I know who they are. And he was like, and then he literally, like, just out of nowhere was like, "Jesus Christo!" I was like, oh my god, you're crazy. So it's kind of, that was our trips, basically.
The craziest guy we saw just had a shirt on that said beef. But anyway, that's our trips.
Yeah. See you later, guys.